Hey everyone, Rich Bennett here. I'm excited to tell you about something we're doing for National Recovery Month. Here at Conversations with Rich Bennett, we're holding a special event called the Podathon for Recovery, 12 Days of Hope. For 12 consecutive days, we'll release a new episode dedicated to powerful conversations about addiction, recovery, and hope. And we're doing this to raise vital funds for an incredible nonprofit, Rage Against Addiction. They are on the front lines providing sober living homes, recovery coaching, and essential support to families. We believe recovery is a journey worth celebrating, and your support can make a tangible difference. Every donation, no matter the size, goes directly to them, helping to save lives and provide a second chance. So please join our mission. You can start donating right now. Simply go to conversationswithrichbennett.com and you'll see the donation thing right there so you can donate and help these women in recovery. Hey everyone, it's Rich Bennett. Can you believe it? The show is turning 10 this year. I am so grateful for each and every one of you who've tuned in, shared an episode, or even joined the conversation over the years. You're the reason that this podcast has grown into what it is today. Together, we've shared laughs, tears, and moments that truly matter. So I want to thank you for being part of this journey. Let's make the next 10 years even better.
Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Harford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch or fast pitch?
I never play softball. It's probably the least sexy part of organizing. That's okay. No. The truth is,
You ever meet someone who's not just changing lives, but changing how we think about how we live? Today on Conversations with Rich Bennett, we're diving into a conversation that blends brain science, resilience, and real-world results. My guest is Irina Alexander, a powerhouse businesswoman, investor, and speaker who's been on a 20-year global mission to decode what makes people not just successful, but unshakable. She's the founder and CEO of the Academy of MotivAction. I love that name. A neuroscience-based training company making serious waves in high-stress industries like first responders, corporate leadership, and more. Her signature framework, the C.A.R.E.S approach, doesn't just talk about emotional wellness. It teaches you how to build it, especially when the pressure's on. With an MBA by 21, top-tier credentials in coaching and neuro-linguistic programming, and real-world street cred, Irina built her way to the top, ready for this, 1.6% of women-owned businesses in a male-dominated industry. But what sets her apart isn't just her success. It's her mission to bring science-backed tools for growth and regulation to 1 million people across the globe. We're talking about mindset, mental health, performance under pressure, and how to shift from burnout to bold action. So whether you're a first responder, entrepreneur, leader, or just feeling stretched thin, Irina brings the clarity and tools to help you not just survive, but thrive. So buckle up. Grab your tea, grab your coffee, whatever you want to drink, because this is more than a conversation. It's an invitation to elevate. So let's jump in. How you doing, Irina?
Oh, wow. Thank you for introduction. I'm impressed. You're impressed with me.
I guess we don't have to talk anymore. I just told you everybody about you, right?
Yes.
All right, I want to get right into this. So you've had a 20-year journey across the globe studying success and human potential. What was the moment or experience that first lit the fire in you to pursue this path?
I wish I could say it was just one thing, but it wasn't. It was a journey. Like the whole life is a journey.
Right.
And it's been a journey from the time because I was born in USSR, the country that doesn't exist anymore, and raised there from the time I was raised by my mom, by a single mom. Single
the
parent.
time you were what?
When I was born, I was raised by a single mom, so single parent household, and just how I've seen the world, the Soviet Union school, right?
Yeah.
The mentalities there, and curiosity that I was like, okay, I want to be more, I want to do more, but what does it take? And the fact that I was traveling from very young age opened my eyes to be very curious on the success and just overall human potential around the world, and like, what's going on? Why is it happening? Why some people are successful and why not? So it's a pure curiosity from very young age.
Right. So how long before you came to the States, or even when you were growing up, were you traveling to the States and all over the country, or all over the world, I should say?
So my first country was China.
Oh, wow.
And that's where was my first international travel. And then I used to work there. My first job was a travel guide in China.
Really?
So I do speak Mandarin.
Wow.
So yeah, and I think my first trip was when I was around 10. So
to China?
To China, yes. And at the age of 13, I spent a month at university in China.
Wait, hold up. Wait a minute. At 13, you were at university?
Yes, I spent 1 month during the summer at university in China at the age of 13. Yes.
All right. I take it the universities there aren't like the universities here.
Well, it was a summer program and I was the youngest student.
How old was everybody else around?
Just, curious, I guess, impressed.
Wow. Holy cow. That's amazing. I'd be lost. At what age were you when you learned Mandarin?
Gosh. I was a trouble child, and my mom kind of decided that she needs to put my energy somewhere else and keep me busy. So she sent me to School of Foreign Languages when I was under 10 for sure, I think.
Wow.
And so I studied 4 languages there, and that kept me busy. So she was trying to figure out what will make me busy so I won't get in trouble, which, it worked. So that's...
I'm afraid to ask this. How many different languages can you speak?
No, I only speak 3, but I did study a few more back when I was a kid.
Mandarin would have to be hard to learn, I would think.
It was my one of the first foreign languages I learned, so it wasn't as hard, I would say.
All right, so do me a favor, because I hear this all the time, and I find it hard to believe, but I've heard a lot of people say that the English language is the hardest to learn. What was harder, Mandarin or English?
I do think Mandarin is harder.
Okay. That's what I thought too. Because I have a hard time just saying Mandarin. So. All right. So actually, God, man, I didn't realize at 13 at university. That's amazing. All right. Well, no, let me ask you this. So when you were going to university, school, or whatever, because I'm sure you went to several different schools, right? As well?
What do you mean by that?
All right, so when you were younger, you have here in the States, you have elementary school, middle school, high school, and then college. So how many different schools did you go to? And then going to school, what was it that you always wanted to do after school?
So in Russia, where I grew up, it was one school with all the grades. So I went to one school from first to the 11th grade. So it was one school. And the after-school programs were School of Foreign Languages and then some trips to China and all of that. So like I said, mom tried to keep me as busy as possible, too smart for my own good. So she was like, okay, I need to keep you occupied.
Wow.
So she definitely invested in me. And when I was growing up, I wanted to dance. And my mom told me it's more important to be smart than to know how to move your body. So I became smart.
Wow.
So yes. And I always wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
And once again, she didn't let me because she said teachers don't make money. So I got my master's in business.
Oh my God.
So,
all right. Do you dance on the side?
I do now. This
Okay.
is my hobby now. After the age of 30, when I went through the burnout, I kind of had to look back and like, okay, what makes me happy? And I always loved dancing. So I went to professional ballroom dancing and all of that. And now I do it as a hobby. I go dancing several times a week.
How many times a week?
Several times a week.
Oh, wow. All right. So actually, I want to get into the entrepreneurship. What did you learn about yourself in the early years of entrepreneurship that still guides you today?
Courage.
Mm.
And some people say it's that I'm fearless, but I don't think I'm fearless. But I was like, what's the worst thing can happen?
Yeah.
I take risks, I take chances, because I don't want to regret of not trying it. Unfortunately, right. I'm a person of a trial and error, and I wish I could learn from other people, but I have to learn my own way by my own mistakes. And so I think I got a little bit smarter by making all those mistakes. So it's not as crazy now as it used to be, but definitely through everything I went through, I still take risk and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with uncertainty.
Mm-hmm. Something very important you said there, which a lot of entrepreneurs don't do. You said you learned from your mistakes. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't. So kudos to you on that. So you've actually built multiple businesses and entered male-dominated industries. How did you overcome the internal and external resistance that actually comes with that territory?
Good question. It definitely was interesting. You walk into the room full of strangers in the male-dominated industry, men that are much older, and they look at you, young, foreign, right? Woman. And when you introduce yourself, they ask, like, what do you do? And the company was heating and air conditioning business. And they look at you and you're like, what do you do? And I was like, well, HVAC. And it was like, so what do you do there? Like, you do marketing? Are you a receptionist? Answering the phone? That assumptions. And I would smile and it would hurt me, right? Like, who do you think you are?
They're stereotyping.
Stereotyping, absolutely. But here's the beautiful thing, what I've learned from it. What made me different, made me unique and memorable. Because when somebody needs HVAC, right? Somebody needs AC. I mean, in Texas, we mostly need AC than heating.
Right, yeah.
There is hundreds of companies, but how many of them people will actually remember? But they will remember that strange Russian girl that was at a networking event, some business meeting, and so on. So instead of trying to hide it, which I can't hide who I am, it's very, very obvious.
You don't want to.
And I didn't know that. Because I was like, how do I blend in, or how do I match, and how do I become part of the circle, so to speak? What I realized is what made me different, made me unique, and made me memorable. So I just embraced who I am and said, yes, but give me a chance because I do know what I'm doing. I mean, I might not be able to fix your AC, but I'm the business owner who hires people, and I have a great team who will take great care of you.
How long were you doing that for?
I've done it for, I think, in 2 years I reached the top, and in 3 years I sold the business.
What?
Yes.
Do you miss it at all?
Yes and no.
Okay. I know with HVAC, because I talk to people in the HVAC industry all the time, and they talk about the struggles because they can't find technicians.
Yes, that part is definitely the hardest. I would agree. Quality people actually know what they're doing. Hiring was definitely one of my number one problems. In business. Absolutely agree.
Before we get into the Academy of MotivAction, I love that. All right, so you had the HVAC company. What other businesses did you have?
So I used to have a women's boutique store.
Oh, wow.
Back in the days, I used to have
a lot of them around here, actually.
Yes. I owned it's still kind of operational, the Amazon store back in the days. This thing started in 2000. So like a little bit in every niche in real estate.
Yeah, do you still do the real estate as well?
Yes, I do still have my license since 2010. So now we are at 15 years of my...
Have you written a book yet?
I have not. A lot of people ask me.
Well, I mean, think about it because, and I'm not talking about like a memoir, but I would think with everything that you've done, that you have so much advice that you could offer people and tips. So, yeah, I think like writing guidebooks or something like that, or even, you probably already do this. You go out and speak, don't you?
I do.
Okay. I figured the motivational speaking was in there somewhere as well. All right. I want to get into the Academy of MotivAction. Explain to everybody what that is.
All right. What started, I think, back in pandemic years, 2020, I think it was established, or very different to what it is now. And what Academy of MotivAction now is a neuroscience-based training company for high-stress professionals. First responders, we have several legs of business. First responders, corporate, so teams, C-suite professionals. And then we also do executive training and entrepreneurs one-on-one. I do some mentorship with entrepreneurs, business owners as well, because this is my true passion, is because I've been there, I've done that. I was like, if you can take my advice instead of trying to do your own way, and it's going to cost you thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars, I would love to save you money and guide you through it. That's why I don't call it coaching, it's mentorship, because people come where they are and I help them to solve their problems.
You think about it, everybody is looking for a mentor, but not everybody's looking for a coach. Or at least everybody should be looking for a mentor.
Yes, I think that's because coaching industry is such a hyped industry right now. Yeah. That's why I call it mentorship, because I don't have a program. I'm not going to, sell you 12 steps or whatever it is. And, cookie cutter. I was like, no, everybody is different at in different stages of their business. And they might need different support.
So why did you decide to start this? And before it, because when you started, it wasn't about neuroscience, right? It was about something else.
Well, it was, but it was very different. So I went through burnout, and that led me on a path of personal development and growth and trying to figure out, why do even people get stressed and burnout and what the is going on, right? I'm such a strong person. How can I be challenged by my mental health? Because you tell me to meditate and I would look at you and roll my eyes and say, what is it? Like
a lot of people do.
Exactly. So I was very cynical, very numbers driven and all of that. So I had to learn a hard way. And so I ended up at a workshop, NLP, neuro-linguistic programming workshop, and I loved it. And like everything I do, once I love something, I went all in. And I got it all the way to the trainer's level, just for myself, not planning on doing anything. I just wanted to know as much as possible. So I got to a trainer's level. And then for a year, I sold my company. And for a year, I was traveling. And I was like, okay, where do people use and utilize it? because there's a lot of it in therapy and coaching, but I was like, okay, business owners, entrepreneurs, they need it so badly, but who is implementing and helping them to learn it and implement it in a business? And I learned that nobody was doing it. So one day I was sitting with a friend of mine at a country club, and I was like, you know what? I just was volunteering and helping people to run their business, and it just helps them to close almost 300,000 in business over the weekend. I was like, why don't I do it for myself? You know, it's like enough for a year of going around United States and helping others. Like, okay, why don't I do it for myself? And he was like, why don't you? And we literally stood up, went to the manager of a country club, reserved the room. And that was my first training in a month. I think back then it was in September and end of October. I think I had my first training. And it was simply, I went back to my business community and people looked at me and was like, you changed. You look happy. What's wrong with you? I want that.
What's wrong with you?
So that's how it started. I first started training business owners and entrepreneurs. And later on, as I evolved and learned more tools and techniques, and overall the company evolved into what we do now, which is first responders, corporate, and still, of course, business owners, because they held a very special place in my heart.
I want to back up a minute. What with the burnout? What actually caused the burnout with you?
Well, when I was running my business, my husband was traveling about 9 months out of the year.
Wow.
I had 2 kids under the age of 2. I was breastfeeding one of them. I was working. It's a brand new business. So I was working 40 to 60 hours a day. And so you just pile all of that.
Yeah, it'll burn you out real fast.
And, you know, I'm strong, but I'm not that strong, unfortunately. Yeah. And so there was just a lot. I put a lot on my shoulders, and my nervous system just, you know, I was drinking too much. I was working too much. I hardly see my kids because there were babysitters, daycares, you name it, you know, and business communities, they knew me. Like everybody knew my name, but at what cost?
You were working your ass off, but you weren't living life.
Exactly.
Wow. That's, all right. So with the Academy of MotivAction, what's one commonly misunderstood aspect of how our brains respond to stress or pressure?
One misunderstood. Knowing is not enough.
Okay.
We think we're all smart. We think we all know it all. And we live in the world right now, like back in the days, you know, we went to libraries and we were consuming the information and knowledge because it was not accessible, and knowledge used to be power. But we live right now in the world where knowledge is everywhere. Self-help books, podcasts, you name it, it's all out there. But we have more suicides than ever.
Oh, my God. Yes, we do.
We have all of those problems. We have little kids that were diagnosed with ADHD or whatever, you name it. People on drugs and self-medicating and all of that more than ever. But so if knowledge is really the power and the curve, then why are we getting worse and not better? Even though we're knowing it all. So people think, well, I just need to know more or learn more, whatever it is. It's not enough.
Now, you know, and that's one of the things, and you see this with the younger generation, they do think they know it all. You look at the workforce, and this is something I don't understand. You look at the workforce, and young people will not hold a job because they swear up and down that the manager doesn't know what they're doing or the business owner doesn't know what they're doing. But yet they never ran that type of business. But they know it all.
They know it all.
And I don't know what it was that triggered the people to think this way. I don't know if it's social media. I don't know if it's the, digital, or who knows. But you do it, and you can see how it's messing with the people's brains, almost like they got to be rewired again.
In a way, yes, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I think everything you mentioned is true, and yes, it all affects it. The society, how people were raised. I mean, cultural overall. That was one of the hardest things. Is when I started running business here. Coming from a Soviet Union mentality and work ethics. And, here we are, I hurt people's feelings when I say things very straightforward.
But you have to.
And it's just like, everybody deserves a trophy, all of that mentality. I was like, exactly. I roll my eyes and it's like, suck it up, buttercup.
Thank you. Oh, God. I'm not going down that rabbit hole because we could talk for hours about that. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that's when everything started getting messed up, when everybody got a trophy. You couldn't discipline people the way you could before. Not just kids, even in the military, you can't. And it's just, it's gotten out of hand. All right. So I want to go into the C.A.R.E.S approach. C.A.R.E.S is an acronym, right?
Yes.
What does C.A.R.E.S stand for?
C stands for communication. A stands for awareness. R stands for resilience. E stands for emotional literacy. And S stands for self-mastery.
All right. So how does the C.A.R.E.S approach reframe traditional thinking around emotional resilience, especially for those in high stress roles like first responders?
Well, big news. The resilience is byproduct. That's what we believe. People, go to resilience training, but what we believe is resilience comes as a byproduct when you master the rest of the things. Mm-hmm. So I know it's not very commercial. It's harder to advertise it that way because a lot of people are like, we're going to do resilience training. It's like, can you really train resilience, or resilience comes as a byproduct of everything else you do and train for?
Yeah, I guess you really can you?
You tell me.
I mean, you got me wondering now.
Good.
Well, all right. So what are some practical steps people can actually take to shift from emotional reactivity to emotional regulation, especially during high stakes moments?
Well, first step is awareness. You have to acknowledge what's happening. You have to be aware. You don't know what you don't know. So you have to become aware. Hopefully it's you who becomes aware, or not somebody's poking at you and telling you, hey, this is a problem. Because if you don't feel like it's a problem, if somebody is, for example, a smoker, and they don't think that it's a problem, but their family, friends, whatever, telling them a problem, they're never going to change or quit smoking because they don't believe that is. So just awareness, but at the same time, it needs to be self-awareness and then honesty. You have to become very honest with yourself, not others. You don't have to be vulnerable and puke everything out and tell everybody all the drama that's happening. But you have to become honest with yourself. And
not just say it, you actually have to do it.
Yes.
Because a lot of people will say they're honest with themselves, but they actually aren't.
Exactly. So that's why self-honesty, self-awareness, self-honesty, it all starts within. When you can look in your own eyes and say, yes, if I can curse, I fucked up.
You're fine. You're fine.
Things are not, I'm not the person I'm pretending to be. This is not okay. I wish I hadn't done that. That could have been handled better. Whatever that is. Just be honest with yourself about yourself. That is the first step.
Why do you feel that so many people aren't honest with themselves?
Because we're afraid.
Of what?
Judgment, self-judgment, guilt, shame.
Damn, you're good.
Thank you.
No, because that's true. A lot of people are. They, you think about it, how many people don't even like themselves? Or even love themselves? Right. They don't even, they don't respect themselves because they don't respect other people as well. And I'm sorry, if you're running a business or you own a business, you need to.
Integrity.
Yes.
Staying in integrity with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So do you go to these businesses or do they come to you? Like, do you do workshops at businesses or anything?
So the models that we work now are speaking, so public speaking, and that's how people connect with us and they ask to work. As of me personally, mentorship, it's purely word of mouth. You won't find my information anywhere. It's literally passed from person to person because I want people who want it. I'm not here to sell somebody a program.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here truly for you, and people who work with me, they stay with me for years. And it's purely word of mouth because they know what I deliver and they share with the people, like-minded people who are going to take action. Because even you said the Academy of MotivAction, I don't believe in motivation. Motivation is never enough. It's great. It's a great start.
Yeah.
But it's never enough. So that's why usually it's word of mouth, and how we find clients is usually through the speaking engagements and workshops. But we don't host our own. We always get invited to do that. This is the current model of the business.
You're listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. We'll be right back. Maryland Pickers is a local junk removal service, and they also have dumpster rentals as well. I actually called Jeremy when we were doing our spring cleaning this year, and he brought the dumpster out and quick to answer the phone. Came out the day he said he was going to pick it up, answered all my questions. Everything was fine. Phenomenal. Very professional to work with. So if you're looking for junk removal service, if you're looking to rent a dumpster, contact Maryland Pickers. Go to marylandpickers.com or give them a call at 443-206-1859. Again, that's 443-206-1859. Tell them that Rich from Harford County Living sent you. I love to hear feel-good stories from my guest. So can you share either one or a couple, however many you want, feel-good stories of somebody that you've been able to help? And you don't have to use their name or anything. That's totally up to you.
I had a beautiful client. When she came to me, she went through a hard time. She was working for one of the Fortune 500 companies. She got laid off. And she bought a small business. Well, she bought it in the food industry. And she bought a business, and then COVID hit. Well, prior to that, she got diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, my God.
And then COVID hit. And we all know how bad it was for food industry during the COVID time. So, and she is a huge faith-driven person. She's a huge believer. And she said, I literally prayed. And I prayed, I think it was around January. And we started working in February. Because she was like, I needed to get rid of this business. Like, I can't handle all of it.
Right.
It's too much. I just survived cancer and then COVID hit. The store is not doing good. It's in the red, all of that. She was like, I want to either somebody buys it or like something needs to change. And she prayed and prayed. Within a few months, I was able to get her in black.
In a few months?
In a few months. Yeah. 2 months.
Wow.
Then she was still working behind the counter sometimes, helping and serving people. She is no longer doing that. In the last year, I think she travels almost every single month.
Wow.
And last month, we opened her second location. She now has 20 employees. Her profitability is, if the industry standard about 10 to 15%, her bottom line, her net is around 35%, 25 to 35%.
Nice.
She travels every single month. They bought 2 investment properties, her and her husband. And now we're looking like, do we want to franchise? What do we want to do next? So she's one of my best success stories. And we became like through journey, I become friends with my clients because, she's been with me for quite a few years, and it's just beautiful. Every time, she says thank you to me, and I said, no, thank you, because I'm guiding you, I'm mentoring you, but you're doing all the work.
She cancer-free now?
She's cancer-free now.
Oh, nice. Something you just said there too about how your clients become your friends. And I heard this a while ago, and I want to see if you agree with it. Your clients will become friends, but your friends may not become your clients.
Very true.
Okay. I heard that. It's like, and I got the thing is like, damn, that's 100% true, because I don't say clients, all my sponsors, all my partners have become friends, but a lot of my friends have not become sponsors or partners for my business. It's like, what are you guys waiting?
It's an interesting concept. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Something I mentioned in the intro. You have a mission to train 1 million people. What does success look like when you imagine the ripple effects of that kind of impact? And how far away are you from that 1 million now?
That's a good question. I wish. So I have 2 kids. And as we talked, the current society and humanity, and I truly believe that what I do is the big picture is I create better human beings. I teach people how to be kind and act with integrity and be respectful. You don't have to agree, but you can respect each other, model the world and the other person. And so that's why the mission, because I want a better world for my kids. And if I can affect, humans and create that ripple effect, that's what I truly want to do. So my kids would be kind. My kids would have a good future and promising future. So I honestly don't know how to measure it yet. The big mission, even though I do love systems and processes and all of my spreadsheets, just because how do you know? I don't know why I feel like sharing this, but my daughter got in trouble yesterday at the summer camp.
Okay.
And you won't believe what happened. So they were at the camp, and her friend got bullied by a girl who started reading the book.
What?
And so my daughter decided to defend the girl who was being bullied and and tackled the girl who was bullying. And guess what? I got a call and she got in trouble, and they told me to come pick her up. And I was like, she stood up for the person who needed help.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And that's what, like, me and my husband, we were like, you know what? Do you want to get ice cream? I was like, I don't know, like, if it's a good parenting or not, because kids don't come with a manual. But I was like, I am proud of you for stepping up and protecting the person in need, because I want you to do that. I mean, maybe the violence wasn't the best thing. And yes, I was like, well, she should have gone to the counselor. And I was like, by that time, all the books would be ripped and the journals or whatever it is. So she took action. She did the best she could in this situation. But the funny part is, as I was picking her up, the counselor was like, she was hanging out with another girl, and they were hugging and playing. And that is the girl she took down. And I was like,
really?
So I was like, what's going on? And so I talked to my daughter in the car, and she was like, yeah, she came and apologized and all of that. And I was like, you know what? Because now she respects you, and now she knows that she cannot mess with you or your friends.
I think that counselor owes your daughter and you guys an apology. But you know what? And you did the right thing there, because this happened when my son was younger. When he was in middle school or elementary school. I can't remember. But this guy kept bullying him. And we've always told him, stand up for yourself. Well, tell the teacher. He kept telling the teachers nothing would happen. So he was sitting down at the lunch table and the kid came up and started messing with him. And my son kept telling him to stop. He wouldn't stop. So my son slammed his head into the table. And the guy did stop. I get the call and I went to the school and I asked him flat out. I said, well, my son kept going to you guys, telling you about this. And you didn't do nothing. Why not? And they won't give you an answer.
Yep.
Well, what he did was wrong. No, what the bully did was wrong.
Exactly.
People don't learn to stand up for themselves. Oh my God, this world is going to be in a total mess. It's going to be worse than it is now. That's good. Tell your daughter I'm proud of her.
Thank you. So I want a better world where people are kind, and that's the reason I do what I do, and that's what drives me. So I believe because changing the world one human at a time.
And here's the thing, even if you don't reach 1 million people, reaching one person, you're changing their life, and that's the important thing. If you can help one person, then you succeeded.
Thank you.
So yeah, that's very important. Okay, so speaking of world, so in a world full of information overload, because we know that's in there, and surface level conversations, how do we create space for the kind of deep, transformative work you believe in?
Not having a surface level conversation in the first place.
Hey, where were you 10 years ago when I started this show?
What is it? When I moved to America, I don't know even what's the word I'm looking for. Extremely surprised, and I could not comprehend the fact of the small talks and the fakeness behind it. And I was like, wow, like what is the purpose of it?
Yeah.
Why not to be true? And if you're really interested in somebody, talk to them, have that conversation versus just the small talks and very irrelevant and then, talking behind back. So whatever that is, I do believe it's cultural, no offense.
No, I agree with you.
So, I think part of my, was on the podcast interview thing was, one of the bottoms, like, I don't do surface level conversations. I do not want to waste my time because time is the most precious thing we have in our life. And this is a currency that we don't know how much we have. We don't know the balance of it.
Exactly.
And I want it to be meaningful. I want to make sure that I spend my time in a meaningful way. So if I do have a conversation, I want to have a real conversation. I want to know real you.
Right. I love that. And the thing is today, the face-to-face conversations, and let me rephrase that, even though we're face-to-face because we're two different states apart, but when you can do the one-on-one in-person conversations, it makes it so much better. And I think something that a lot of people can even learn from podcasting, because we can see each other. We're not texting each other. Get away from texting each other, people. Call them on the phone, whatever. Just, I think that's a problem too. Too many people are just doing that. They don't want to look at each other. I don't know why. I don't understand that. It's just mind-boggling. All right. So if you could, and say, how can I phrase this? If you could change how organizations support mental health, especially for first responders and frontline professionals, what would that system look like?
The system needs to be changed.
Oh, yeah.
That is the, I wouldn't say problem, but a challenge that we are facing is the way it works right now, it doesn't. And while we work with frontliners a lot, the main feedback is it has to go up. It has to go to the leadership. My best friend in the business partnership says that shit rolls downhill.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's great because we make an impact on the human beings and their families and all of that, but you can't change because they're the product of their environment. So the environment needs to change. And that's why it has to go up to the leadership. So the full alignment of the whole system and not just little pieces.
All right. So with you working with first responders a lot, I'm sure you're a lot of them are coming into you with PTSD, right? Are you finding it a challenge for first responders to even come in and see you though? And I ask this because like with the military, a lot of veterans will not talk to somebody about whether, PTSD, anxiety, whatever. Sometimes they have no problems talking to another veteran about it, but sometimes they do.
You nailed it.
Okay.
You nailed it. So we are not therapists.
Right.
And
you're life coaches. Well, no, I'm sorry. You're mentors. You're mentors.
It depends. Trainers, mentors.
Okay.
But here's what you really, like I said, nailed it, is we are training people and giving them tools so they can help themselves, so they don't have to go to the dark place. So we are creating a proactive approach. Like you said, because when something happens, trauma, some incidents and all of that, sometimes they have to put a check mark, and they do it just because they have to.
Yeah.
And the vulnerability it takes to open up, a lot of them don't feel safe to open up and do that. So that's what we are teaching and training. Once again, the same as in the HVAC business. We walk into the room with a lot of A-type personalities, heroes. They look at the young woman as like, what do you know? You're not even in our world, right?
Right.
I mean, just being honest. So yes, we do have skills to build rapport and have a conversations. But what we're giving them is real tools to help each other, support each other, and to support themselves. And that's, I think, what makes us very different is I want you to be fully capable. I want you to give you a power back. So when something happens, either you can have the courage to talk to somebody without feeling shame and guilt, or guide yourself and help yourself.
What are some of the tools you guys use?
Oh gosh, there are so many from neuroscience perspective but it all boils down to communication and honesty with yourself. It might be so simple, but it's not easy. And it all boils down to communication. Because how many times, if you're talking about heroes and people they train every single day to resolve the extremely hard situation, to be vigilant, to help the society, to help everyday people. But they're not trained to take care of themselves or each other. They know how to do it on the field, but when they're off the field, it's like they forget everything. Or when they go back home and bring all the trauma and all that bullshit back home and take it off on their partners and kids. So that's what we teach and train them.
Something you mentioned earlier, and I think it was before you went through the burnout, when somebody's, you mentioned about, sometimes people would tell people to meditate and you just laugh at them. Do you use meditation at all now? I
do.
Okay.
I do now. It took me years, honestly, to shut down my crazy, constantly working mind and that, what do we call it, itty bitty shitty committees that sits on your shoulder and just won't shut up.
Oh my God. Okay. I love that.
So it took me years, but I do now.
Oh God. Got me cracking up here. All right, something with your business.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that I'm looking, actually, tell everybody your website.
It's MotivAction.Academy.
You mean I've been saying it wrong? I've been saying MotivAction.
It's motivation and action, one word. So it's MotivAction.
Okay. All right. What is Brain Tap?
Okay. Brain Tap is how I started meditating.
Okay.
It's a device.
Like how that segued into that.
I know. Like you did your homework or something. So it's a headphones device with also kind of like a glasses type. And it comes with a app that creates waves into your brain that helps you. It's kind of a tool that helps you to learn to meditate. I started there. And the beauty of it, they have a double induction voice, which means that it's several voices at the same time. Because technically speaking, if we're going to get a little bit nerdy and sciencey here, your brain only can comprehend about 120 bits of pieces of information per second.
Okay.
One person, to understand one person, it takes about 60 to 80. So when you have, people who think they can multitask.
Yeah.
So when you have two voices that you're trying to focus on, you cannot focus on that external other voice that you have in your head. So that's why I love Brain Tap, and that's how I started meditating, because it will help me to shut down my voice and focus on meditation. Now I can do a silence meditation. I don't even need any external guided meditations or anything. But for a few years, I use Brain Tap several times a day. My kids love it. I even have daughters that use it. It's pretty cool. And right now, I think they're expanding. There's like thousands of types of meditation on their app. So it's absolutely beautiful tool. And that was my tool to learn to meditate.
What do you tell those people that say, "Oh, I can't meditate," or "I don't have time to," or "I don't know how to"?
Oh, yeah. So when I did my trainings, I would bring a zero gravity chair and I would bring a Brain Tap. And they would say, "I don't meditate." And I was like, "Great. So do this, check it out." And I would give a 20-minute meditation to try them. And I had one guy who is like, "I'm ADHD and I'm this like blah, blah, blah." And I was like, great. And so
perfect candidate.
Exactly. I mean, like, you're skeptical. Yes, please. Because I've been there. I've done that. And he literally started snoring. He was like, "What was that?" And it was him and his wife during the training together. And of course they bought a Brain Tap. So they were like so amazed. It's like, there's no way, like in the middle of the day, just being able to completely check out.
All right. I have to ask this because you mentioned something and I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
What is a zero gravity chair?
Oh, it's kind of like a little lounge recliner chair. It's nothing fancy. I mean, you go on Amazon, they have like anywhere from 50 probably to a couple $100. It's a chair that when you sit down, it kind of balances your weight, so it leans back in a certain way, so you feel like you're floating, I guess.
Is there a weight limit on this thing? Because I don't want to sit on it and all of a sudden
I mean,
on the floor.
My husband is over 200 pounds and he's fine. So I think they're like 350 limit. So you should be good. It's like literally doesn't look very different from regular like lounge chairs or because it's foldable chair.
Oh, okay. See, now you're going to have me looking for one once we're finished here. Hey, if it helps with meditation, I mean, I meditate now as it is, but just sometimes you just need that nice, comfortable chair just to.
Yep.
And I like the idea you said it's like floating. Yes. And I don't have a pool I can float in. So. All right. What's a belief you held early on in your career that you've since outgrown, and what replaced it?
Belief. It might not sound like belief, but it was a belief. It's a fear of rejection.
Okay. What replaced that?
Everything is possible.
That's true.
That was a deep one because it affects, because when you do something, you're afraid to be rejected, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's taking risks or speaking, whatever that is, being afraid to judge. So that was a very deeply ingrained belief that I had.
Well, and you see a lot of, salespeople always have that fear of rejection.
Absolutely. And we all sell to each other 24/7.
Well,
it doesn't matter where you are. So.
Yeah, and thank you for saying that. I've always said that everybody's a salesperson somehow or another.
Yep.
They may not realize it, but somehow or another, they are. All right, so for someone listening right now who's successful on the outside but actually feels emotionally disconnected or burned out, where do they start?
Look in the mirror.
Yes.
Look in the mirror. Just pause, take time, look in the mirror, and assess what's going on. Just really be honest with yourself. Like, nobody's watching, nobody's listening, just you. And you get in contact with you and be honest. What is actually going on?
Mm-hmm. And tell yourself, look in the mirror and just look at yourself and say, I love you too.
Absolutely. I think that's a great point. Without judgment.
Yeah.
Assess what's happening from a bird eye view without judgment. And then give yourself grace and love for doing that.
I'm telling you, I've learned so much from talking to different people on this to where it's actually changed my morning routine. And I have no problem doing that now, looking in the mirror, saying that. But something else I learned, because every morning when I wake up, I always say something I'm grateful for. But somebody taught me this, I guess I was talking to, but forgive something every day too. Whether you're forgiving someone or something that happened, just, learn how to forgive and forgive that thing. And oh my God, Irina, I'm not lying. It's like a ton of bricks being lifted off your shoulders, and it feels so good. And I think a lot of people need to do that, especially in the business world, entrepreneurs, business owners, because they go through so much crap. One of the hardest things, and you can probably touch on this as a business owner or even a manager, one of the hardest things to do is to let people go. Mm-hmm. And it just creates so much more stress. And you feel like you're doing the wrong thing, and you feel like you can't forgive yourself for doing that. But sometimes there's reasons that it has to be done. I'm sure you ran into that during your career, didn't you?
No, absolutely. Oh, all the time.
One of the hardest things to do.
Yes, because, you're hurting people, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's not fun.
No,
it's people take it personal, but when in reality, there's nothing personal about it. No. You just do best what you believe for your business, because you want your business to not just survive, but succeed.
Yeah. That's one of the things I always hated.
Beautiful.
When I had to do that.
Yeah.
Hated doing that. All right. So before I get to my last question, which I have no idea what it's going to be, you're looking at me like, what? Is there anything you would like to add?
I don't think so. I think it was a fantastic, very engaging and deep conversation. So I truly enjoy it. Thank you so much.
All right, so I'm doing something different now. It used to be, the last question I would always ask people, what's the next big thing for you and other things. But now I'm letting my guest pick the question, sort of. So I have 50 random questions here. I have no idea what the questions are.
Okay.
So, and a lot of people that I've had on, somehow or another, the question they picked aligned with what we were talking about. So pick a number between 1 and 50.
35.
Why 35? That's not the question, but why 35?
I don't know. That's just the first number that popped in my head.
Okay. See, and this aligns with what we were talking about.
Beautiful.
If you had to describe your life's purpose in one sentence, what would it be?
That's a big one.
Not one word, one sentence.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Oh, life purpose in one sentence. Creating a better world.
I don't understand why that was so hard. Once I read that, I thought right away that's what you were going to be saying, something like to change the world, make the world better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody should be doing that. See, that was not a hard answer. I should have found a harder question for you. I should have added 35 to 30. No, that would have been 70. That wouldn't have worked. Never mind. Irina, I want to thank you so much. It's been a true honor, and I wish you continued success. And yeah, and how old's your daughter? The one that got in trouble?
8.
8
She's
years old.
Turning
okay.
9 next week.
Okay. All right. They're not there around you right now, are
No.
they? Okay. Does she believe in Santa Claus still?
Yes.
All right. You tell her that Santa Claus is proud of her.
Will do.
All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Conversations with Rich Bennett. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something from it as I did. If you'd like to hear more conversations like this, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I'd love it if you could leave a review. It helps us reach more listeners and share more incredible stories. Don't forget to connect with us on social media or visit our website at conversationswithrichbennett.com for updates, giveaways, and more. Until next time, take care, be kind, and keep the conversations going. You know, it takes a lot to put a podcast together, and my sponsors help out a lot, but I also have some supporters that actually help me when it comes to the editing software, the hosting, and so forth. There's a lot that goes into putting this together. So I want to thank them. And if you can, please visit their websites, visit their businesses, support them however you can. So please visit the following: Real Life Prosthetics, cutting edge solutions, restoring ability since 2001. Go to reallifeprosthetics.com. Full Circle Boards. Nobody does charcuterie like Full Circle Boards. Visit them at fullcircleboards.com. Sincerely Sawyer Photography. Live in the moment. They'll capture it. Visit them at sincerelysawyer.com.